Okay. Welcome to the June 16th meeting of Pacific Grove Unified School District. With our call to order, we will now move to roll call, please. Present.
Here. Here. Here.
Here. Okay, as we look at the agenda, are there any changes?
Yes, Madam President, just a couple that you, I think, have already been made aware of, and they should be in your blue folder. We have the certificated and classified assignment orders are for you there now. We just have been hiring and working on hiring for the last several weeks. And so that's there for you and available and will be posted online. So those two are listed and revised for you. Consent N, it was noted that the consultant's information was not added to the contracts. We made that revision. So you don't necessarily need to pull N, but you can if you want. And consent V, we had two nominees that were added to the list based on the interviews that were taking place, I think, on Wednesday that were added to consent V. So again, it's noted that there will be two people approved by the board. You can choose to pull that or not. It's up to you.
Just for clarification, those interviews were yesterday afternoon.
Yesterday, okay, thank you.
Yes.
So was yesterday Wednesday? Yep.
Wait, was yesterday Wednesday?
I think it was.
I think you're on it and I just need to look.
No,
at my
that's okay, because
calendar.
I'm right with you.
So yesterday.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So are we okay with that? Can we approve agenda as is with that awareness?
I'd like to pull V just to talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, we can.
All right. Well, I will be pulling V then when we get there. Just so you're aware.
Okay, so are there any board questions or comments?
None.
Okay, not at this time. Any public comment? Seeing none, I move that we accept tonight's agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion was made by trustee Dawson, seconded by trustee Brian Swanson. Roll call vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Tonight, we'll be moving into closed session. And the topics we will be looking at are consideration of student discipline and superintendent evaluation. Are there any public comments? Seeing none, we will adjourn now to closed session. I'm opening the board meeting for Pacific Grove Unified School District on Thursday, June 16th. I'm coming back after a closed session, and during closed session, we had consideration of student discipline. One case, student number 022122. It was a unanimous vote by the board to have the student return to our campus in the fall. And we also worked on superintendent evaluation.
Madam President, if I may, just
Oh,
for
what
the
I
record.
forget?
No, it's okay. Just so for the formal record, it's a readmission from expulsion. So just so it's.
That's a small mistake,
That's
and
okay,
I'm
no
going to
worry.
live with that. I'm
Okay.
internalizing readmission from expulsion. All right, and that was the student discipline that took place, and we're absolutely elated. Said student will be returning to our campus. I'm looking towards Ralph. I'm going to move
Sounds
forward
good,
now. Gosh,
Oh, good.
please help me. Okay, we will now do Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll start off the evening, please, with written communication. school is out and the communication has dropped off a little bit. We had a letter that was a teacher recommendation. A parent felt strongly a teacher be considered for hiring. We had letter about Newsom's budget and the neglect of basic aid districts and what we might want to do about it. We had a letter from the SOUP regarding Uvalde and talking about that horrific experience. And also we had a letter from someone mentioning the new principal that will need to be hired in the elementary and what the wishes were from her daughter. Any other? Oh, yeah. Okay, I've been at a board meeting today. I'm so sorry. So letters about the most recent items that are top of the news.
Yes, we had letters concerning an individual who's bluntly been arrested and his role at PGUSD.
Okay, yes. All right, anything else? Carolyn?
Yeah. Yes, thank you, President Dawson. I had email about a skate park in Pacific Grove and 2 emails about clarifying a recent press release from PGUSD. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, we'll now move on to board member comments. Trustee Brian Swanson.
Gosh, I am gonna keep it really short. What a year. What a year. And here we are. I think this is the last one before we gonna come back in August. So gosh, it feels like it was really long. And I'm glad that we got to the end of it. And for everybody who's here or who's tuned in, thanks for coming and contributing, because it wasn't always pretty and it wasn't always fun, but we got the work done mostly. So thanks for that. Thanks to my fellow board members and to our great leadership here on my left and to the tech help over here too. We did it. So here's to a great summer and a kick butt 22-23.
Thank you so much. Trustee Paff.
I have no comments. Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Rivera.
Just ditto everything you said, Trustee Brian.
Trustee Carolyn.
I don't have many comments either. Surprise, Christy.
I am. Come on now, don't hold back.
I was actually just going to really briefly mention the interviews that we did this week and then I'll let you expand upon it because I'm sure you were going to mention them as well.
Okay, you start.
Yeah, so this week, Christy and I, along with Director Davies, interviewed 6 candidates for the SELPA Community Advisory Council. And I was just elated that we had 6 families apply, and that level of interest just won me over because I'm also a parent of a child who qualifies for special education. So I really was excited to see that much interest.
Yeah, and I will echo that what was so nice is the pool was so strong. The people that applied were wonderful. It was a tough decision. We came up with a couple of ladies that you'll see later in our packet, but it was a wonderful experience. And I think it spoke to our dedication. I know I had a son in special ed, so there was a lot of communication about those students with those different needs and how to make sure within the educational process that they are attended to and that they find their own success in their path through the system. So it was a lot of fun. And it was, I felt very rewarded. I also wanted to add that I talk about representing us at Community Human Services. And a couple of weeks ago, the CEO picked me up in Dixon, where I'm from, up by UC Davis. And we drove into Sacramento, and there was a luncheon at the Capitol, which was, I used to drive by on my bus on the way to Sutter's Fort when I was a little kid. So it felt full circle event that I was sitting there with my CEO, and we were being lauded for the good work the superintendent picked us. Did I already tell you this stuff? I didn't, did I? Okay, good, help me. So Superintendent John Laird from Santa Cruz chose Community Human Services, and over 100 other nonprofits were chosen. So everybody sat in this large tent and everybody celebrated the work that is being done throughout the state on so many levels, you know, from legal things to forestry recruitment to this is homelessness and dealing with drugs in Monterey County. So it was a wonderful experience, and I just wanted to bring that up. The whole world talks about the end of the year, and it's December 31st. But for anybody in education, this is the real end of the year. And every year I've had this feeling since I guess it's what, kindergarten, we all had it. So forever, and it's joyful, celebratory, and always a huge sense of relief. And what I remember as an educator is an overwhelming sense of exhaustion. So it's that time that you move towards the summer to replenish your spirit, your heart, your psyche, and then come back raring to go in the fall. So a big thank you to everybody connected with the district, and obviously the DO, the teachers, the staff, students. It's just been wonderful. So thank you so much. All right, next we'll move on to superintendent's report, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple of items as well. First off, I want to just make a note that we did have our administrative retreat this past week, and went really well. 3 days well spent together, and spent a considerable amount of time working through the next steps for our cultural proficiency phase 2 that we'll be doing with the district, and got a little leg up on that. Working directly with Dr. Flores and Dr. Ravalin. And so really great work, and just always reminded how remarkable our admin team is. We're just very blessed to have all of them, and hardworking crew, and work hard, play hard, have a good time together, and get the job done. So a great retreat, and we're looking forward to moving forward with the themes into this next school year. So that happened, and we're pleased with it. I also want to just make a comment in regards to the 2 letters that have gone home now out to the families regarding Andrew Cho and the current situation with his arrest. We don't have any further news at this stage of the game, other than what was already released out to the public. Tried to provide details in regards to past positions and roles in the district, and that was written out. And trying to encourage families, if they have any connections or thought of any connections with their students or other family members, to please contact the police. The tip line is there, the communication line is there. And in speaking with the police, they'll be keeping us informed to the extent that they can. I don't have any new information now, but certainly they'll let us know if there's something else that we need to know or something that we need to respond to. And I also want to comment that the information that's posted on that letter is also posted on the police website, on their posting, on their public release as well. And they, as always, ask us to make sure to use that information for anyone who may have something to report, so that they're getting all of the original firsthand full information. So in any event, we'll continue to be mindful and report anything else that we can report to the families. And outside of that, I'll leave it at that.
Thank you for sharing that. PGUSD staff comments on non-agenda items. Yeah, make sure to push the little button.
Sally Richmond, Pacific Grove High School. I sent the board members a letter about a month ago regarding the robotics position, and so I wanted to give you an update on that. Song was gracious enough to give me a phone call, and we discussed the fact that the money is in a robotics account. It will not be spent on any other items. I'm not happy that it's not being refunded to PG STEAM, but I can live with it. We're going to take that money and use it towards fees for competitions in the future. What I'm asking as we go forward, though, is that we make the position official for the coach position, and that we also add an assistant coach position for myself. So we have a coach who's a volunteer, and we have me. Sometimes I get paid with GATE money, gifted and talented education. Sometimes I don't. This year I was paid $1,000, but there have been plenty of years in the past where I received no money at all. Our season runs from January well into April, and we meet year round. So there was a meeting today at 4 o'clock, and the kids are going till 7:30. I think that we should be compensated just like the other sports teams, coaches are compensated. And so I request that this be added to an agenda item in the future. If you'd like me to give a presentation, I would be happy to, or I could answer questions at that time. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Dr. Hagquist.
Larry Hagquist, the summer school principal of the middle school and the high school at Pacific Grove. Just here with a brief report about how summer school is going. It's going great. I've got a wonderful team of 5 teachers. We meet every morning and we discuss individual students. We have a list. We go over the wins for the day. That includes like the students that are showing some success. We've already had 13 students complete, which is pretty great, because we were thinking that it was going to take all the way until the 30th if they could even complete then. But the teachers have been doing a wonderful job, and we're just gonna every day there's more and more that are completing. We have 1 student that completed 2 courses already, done with 2 courses. It's kind of amazing. I've been on the phone with parents of students who are on fire. They're like at home doing it. They just are eager. Part of it, I think, is the incentive to start their summer. So that's been happening. We had a barbecue last Friday. PTA pitched in some money, and so did Mr. Garcia and myself. And we just had a barbecue for the kids, and everybody was in Pride Place. It was awesome. We're gonna have a little like root beer float thing tomorrow, and just trying to keep it fun and really address the whole child. That's one of the discussion topics every day that we meet. We meet at 8:30 a.m. and we talk about different instructional strategies, how to reach some of these kids. And we're just trying to, calling home, getting the parents involved, getting scout troop leaders involved, just anything we can do to reach some of these kids. So it's been, I'm looking forward to looking at the data. I know that there was 21 of 49 that completed last summer, and two of 49 completed 2 courses last summer. So, it gives us something to look at for comparison. And we're aiming to do much better, and we'll see how it goes.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, members of the board. Buck Rogovan, principal of Forest Grove. I'm coming before you tonight just to let you know, I know a message went out, but earlier in the week, Pacific Grove lost a speech language pathologist who passed away, Ina Gesseman. And Ina had served in the district for nearly 19 years. And she was the speech pathologist for 5 of the 7 years when I was at Forest Grove. And I just want to take a moment publicly to recognize all of the amazing work that Ina had done with our children. She was one of the best at being able to assess a student. And if she even had an inkling that something was going on, in terms of having a speech need, she would give assessment after assessment after assessment to try and find out what that need was and get to the bottom of what was going on with the student. Not only that, the students really enjoyed their time working with Ina because she built great relationships with the students, the staff, and the families. And she also served a long time on our social committee at Forest Grove. And all of those kinds of social events that we've done at our school were really pivotal in helping build the really positive campus culture that we have at Forest Grove among our staff. So she is truly going to be missed, and we send our absolute best intention to Ina's family. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Barbara Martinez, please.
Good evening, everybody. Barbara Martinez coming to you as Director of Safety for Pacific Grove Unified School District. I just wanted to share some exciting things that are happening in the county right now. The Monterey County Office of Ed is working to roll out the Safe and Healthy School Coalition this fall. So far, 24 school districts in the county and 71 school sites are participating to come together to collaborate. And the goal is really to develop common language for safe school protocols, for behavioral health practices, and for really coming together so that if we have an incident on our campus and Seaside Police Department have to come in on our campus, they'll automatically know that we have a common language. Some of the areas, some of our partners that we are going to partner with, we will partner with local law enforcement from across the county, fire, behavioral health, the Monterey County Board of Supervisors, MCOE, of course, and they're writing this grant, Stop the Violence, Stopping School Violence, and it's several grants, and that will provide us millions of dollars over 3 years to really come together to do this work. And it's needed. I'm excited to be part of this coalition, and I just wanted to give you an update. And as we move through the planning, I will be giving safety updates to you to inform you about our progress. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other? Okay, that's it for comments at this time.
Individuals desiring to address the board. Public comment on any item of interest to the public that is within the board's jurisdiction will be heard. The board will also take public comment on each specific action item prior to the board action on each item. The board will allow a reasonable amount of time for public comment on each agenda item, not to exceed 3 minutes per speaker and no more than 20 minutes per agenda item, pursuant Board Policy 9323. Speakers will be called sequentially until there is no speaker coming forward on the agenda item or the amount of time allotted for the agenda item has elapsed, whichever comes first. This meeting of the Board of Education is a business meeting of the board conducted in public. Please note that the Brown Act limits the board's ability to respond to public comment. The board may choose to direct items to the administration for action or place an item on a future agenda.
Okay, thank you so much for reading that tonight. Are there any individuals at this time who would like to address the board? Now it really feels like summer officially. Okay, we'll move forward, please, to consent agenda, and the items listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine and or may have been discussed at a previous board meeting. There's no discussion of these items prior to the board vote unless a member of the board requests specific items to be discussed and are removed from the consent agenda consent agenda. Each item on the consent agenda approved by the Board of Trustees shall be deemed to have been considered in full and adopted as recommended. A late hand up for back before? Kathleen, we'll go ahead and hear from you and then go back to the consent agenda, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing me to speak tonight. And I come to you tonight to speak about the most recent event and arrest of a recently resigned PGUSD employee and longtime volunteer. As a parent whose children interacted at the middle school level with this individual, I have to say I was deeply disappointed in the district's first announcements not being forthcoming about his employment with the district. And I just would urge you to really be candid and forthright. Even tonight, you're all kind of dancing around this horrible situation. But I also want to say that I hope as a board that you're having some really frank conversations about the culture of not enforcing professional boundaries between either certificated or uncertificated staff and students. Unfortunately, this is the third type of incident at PG High School involving inappropriate touching between adults and students. But also it's the second really egregious violation of boundaries between a trusted adult and students who oftentimes are vulnerable and look up to their teachers and their coaches and the volunteers and the tutors. As a community, it's no secret that there's a whole lot of conversation going around, a lot of shock and a lot of concern about this most recent event. And I want to just say for the victims who came forward in 2016 and the victim who came forward about this incident that allegedly occurred in 2019, and the young woman who came forward with, such courage earlier this year, please honor them and please hear their stories and recognize that sometimes firing somebody that you've enjoyed working with really is what you need to do to protect the students. I pray that this is only one victim, but as the police stated, in their media releases, they're very concerned about multiple victims in this case. And I know teachers are required to do training about grooming and what that looks like. And it's pretty evident that allowing individuals to give rides to students after school, to invite students to their homes for movies, to show up at events in the community where they don't necessarily have a role, should have raised red flags and should have at least a professional mentorship level, someone to say, maybe for your own protection, you shouldn't be doing that. So it's a hard conversation to have. It's a really unfortunate incident. And I would just say, I'm grateful that this individual is no longer employed by the district. But I hope that you take a real hard look at how the 2016 incident happened and how this one happened, because it's not a good track record. And we need to do better by our students and stand up for them, even when it means having really uncomfortable conversations. So thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I wish you luck, but I also would just say, be honest with your parents and your community, because when pertinent information isn't included the first time around, we lose faith and we lose trust in any future communication. Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Anybody else? Okay, so we'll go back, please, to the consent agenda, which I read about. Board, is there any to be pulled? Or changes?
No, I don't need to pull V. I'm okay.
Oh, well, I'll pull V then. Yeah,
Pull- What number?
consent V like Victor.
Okay,
And Madam President, we had the consent B and C, or assignment orders had to be pulled as well.
okay,
Just
B
because
and
there's-
C will be pulled and V. Any others? Okay.
No.
All right, so at this time, do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve consent with the exception of items B, C. I'll move to approve the consent agenda with the exception of items B, was it C?
C.
And V as in Victoria.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. May I have a roll call vote, please? Aye.
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 The motion carries 5-0. Do we want to go ahead and discuss those items right now, please? Okay, let's start with B. That's with Billy Mankey.
The consent item, it's as stated on the cover sheet. We just needed to add a couple of items to it for action so we can get it taken care of. So it's as you read there in terms of employee action.
Okay, any questions, board?
I move to approve on staff's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote. Aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0.
Madam President,
Yes.
I have a parliamentary question since we are all here. Do we need to do roll call vote?
Do, because you posted it that way.
Oh,
Yeah, once it's in writing, we are dedicated to following through. But very good question.
thank you.
Okay, next we'll move to item C.
Same as the other, Madam President, just
Apologize about my phone. The
Don't let
transfer
it happen
from one to
again,
the other.
please, trustee Pat.
This is off, but that is not.
Okay, careful, careful, even if it's summer, there are certain things that need to be followed. Okay, any questions about this?
We have to ask for public comment on this since it's a full consent item.
Public comment? Seeing none. Do I hear a motion?
Also move.
Second.
Motion was made by trustee Brian Swanson, seconded by Dr. Frank Rivera. Roll call vote, please. Aye.
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 Hi.
Okay, next we'll move on to V. And we'll hear please from Claire Davies. Oh, sorry.
I just, do we want to address the questions first?
I
then
think
we'll
she
know?
wanted to say something. Do you? I got a text.
Okay.
Let's see if I'm right or
You're always
I'm
right.
hallucinating.
You're always right.
So quite rarely. Call my husband. Okay.
Good evening.
Ha.
I hope you can hear me. I'm trying to start my video because I did do my hair.
Wow. We'll wait. There you are.
Okay. I want to echo with great enthusiasm what President Dawson and Trustee Carolyn Swanson shared with you all, that this was just a wonderful and exhilarating experience because we did have 6 super high caliber candidates. And we do want to work with all 6, and we're going to work towards a different capacity, perhaps within the school district. But our selection that we would like to present to you tonight for board approval is we would like to have 2 representatives to the Monterey County Office of Education, SELPA, CAC, which is a parent advisory council to the SELPA on all things special education. And so with great pleasure, I would like to announce that our 2 representatives to serve a term of 2 years are Amy Ramos and Emily Woods. And I'm sure you will meet them and hear more from them. And I just want to make sure I'm correct. It's Emily Schumann Woods. So thank you all for participating in this. And we're very, very thrilled to have them represent our school district. Thank you.
Thank you for speaking with us. Okay, that takes care of all consent. Any comments at this point? This will be our last one.
Quick question.
Please.
I'm so glad to hear that about the high caliber candidates. I was just curious if the SELPA had a limit as to how many representatives each district could have.
Yes, we have that answer. It's 2.
Oh,
Each district is allowed. I spent a few hours yesterday on this with Carolyn and Claire. Each district is allowed up to 2 representatives. And with COVID, it's been shared that a lot of that meeting structure has kind of fallen apart a little bit. So we're looking for that in the future to grow stronger. And with these ladies at our helm, I'm sure we're going to see that. So it'll be wonderful.
thank you.
Any other questions? Public comment? All right, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Seconded. Motion was made by Dr. Frank Rivera, seconded by Christy Dawson. Roll call vote, please. Aye.
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 Hi. And Christy, it's possible that, I don't know if the 2 appointees are on tonight, but it's possible that they may want to just say something. So I was just looking to.
Wow. That's a little pressure. They've just had the job for about 30, 40
I
seconds.
know, I was just looking to see if they're
I
on.
think Amy is on tonight.
She is. Okay. Do we want to give her a chance to say anything or?
Let's
we're
see
good?
if she can wave or say something. Either way, we're going to be delighted.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. So honored to be considered for the position. Can't wait. I'm super passionate about this committee, and I hope that Emily and I are able to make a difference in our community and within our school district. So we are super excited to get started. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that. That's the only one here tonight of the two? Okay, all right. I don't have a computer in front of me, so thank you for those words. We're equally as excited, so we look forward to you joining next year. Oh, there's your face down in the very little, we see your glasses. Welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, next we're going to move on. Action and discussion. We'll do the district update to COVID.
Thank you, Madam President. Actually, not much to add here today, other than I know that the board at the last meeting wanted to continue moving forward with the current indoor mask mandate based on the framework around the CDC numbers delineating what low and moderate, and we'd follow those numbers on the low and moderate category, regardless of how they change, so long as we stay consistent with what the CDC is setting as a framework. The most recent numbers that we're seeing from the county health department still puts us way over that limit at 9.4% on the 7-day positivity and 26.7 on the cases per. And so they're continuing to rise. I think at some stage of the game, well, from one comment of someone from the health department, at some point there's gonna be a leveling out, but we don't know when that will be. I know that we have no meetings planned until August, but we'll be watching out. If we see any significant change, I'll certainly let you all know. I don't know that it'll be enough to remove the mask mandate at this point, but we'll see.
Okay.
So other than that, I have nothing new. Nurse Pally sent out some communications to parents, I think just last week. We're continuing to do the testing program, and we'll continue to offer at-home tests for those families that wish to. And so we've provided quite a bit of other materials for parents that have requested. And Nurse Pally, bless her heart, she continues to just work wonders. And so we'll be keeping tabs and checking in with her as well if she provides any further information. And certainly, as we have in the past, want to thank our colleagues at the county office who've been providing a lot of materials for us. And we continue to get word of new available stock that we can tap into that'll help us stay on top of things. And want to assure families that we right now are well stocked for the fall in terms of masks and other provisions for our students. So we're in good shape. So there's no action necessary this evening. However, I'm at work at the board's pleasure, whatever you'd like to do.
And could you remind us, the testing is not taking place here, right? During this month?
Correct.
It's taking place.
At the high school.
I know the answer. I'm just guiding. I knew. At the high school, I just restating it so people don't show up here, but that's wonderful. Trustee Paff is whispering to me so I don't look foolish, but I do appreciate it very much. Hey, here's a good idea. Why don't we move on to the approval of the assistant superintendent's. Oh, what? I'm so eager for summer, but I'll go back. Questions now?
I happen to have a question.
Oh, thank you for stopping me.
Ralph,
Yes.
for the COVID dashboard that we have on our website, I noticed it hasn't been updated in a while. I was assuming that's because technically school is out for most, although we do still have students on campus.
Yes.
So just wanted to bring it up and see if you don't feel that it's appropriate to maintain during the summer, which is possibly how you feel about that, then can we just kind of make that clear on the website? Because otherwise, when you go on right now, it looks like we have 25 active cases.
Got it. Understood. Yeah, we'll make a notation of it, that it's been put on hiatus until the beginning of
Okay.
the next school year. It's probably most useful during the school year.
Yeah.
And so we can do that.
Are we tracking positive cases with our kids on campus right now, or is that kind of,
Yes.
we
Yeah,
are?
any of that comes our way, we're reporting as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then just lastly, do we have a sign at this location where we used to do tests every Monday? Do we have a sign that directs folks to go to the high school location?
The testing agency has one, yeah.
They do.
They put it out here the last time, and they told us they'd put it out again for us, so.
Excellent. Thank you. Those are my questions.
Thank you. trustee Swanson.
This is sort of, it's slightly related, just because I don't remember if it came up over the last couple of meetings, but it was, last year and I think the year prior when we hit summer. Are we doing meal distribution like we were doing years prior during?
I
or during
believe,
the
I
summer?
believe we're not during the summer.
Okay. It's not funded?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It comes back in the fall, actually.
Yeah.
It's really odd 'cause it's state money.
Yeah, you figure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing funding it at this time.
Okay. All right. That's a shame, but if it's not funded, there's not a lot we can do. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up, Brian, because maybe we could at least send out a communication from the nutrition department to families, letting them know where local food banks are or
I can talk with,
what is available.
sure, talk with Director Lip and let her know.
I know there are some districts in other parts of the county who are continuing to offer meals, and they don't have to be, what do I want to say? They don't have to be students enrolled in the district to pick up the meals. So that might also be good information to include if she knows.
Anything else, trustee Swanson? Trustee Paff, trustee Rivera? Okay,
Public comment.
public comment. Thank you so much.
Larry Hagquist, Pacific Grove High School. I just want to say I'm glad that conversation about summertime meals came up. This is something that I spoke to the PTA about because I noticed that we have meals for 2 more years, but we don't have it during the summertime. And I'm dealing with some of the most vulnerable, non-resilient students in our population. Which is one of the reasons why I put on the barbecue. I proposed at least a barbecue, and I'm willing to do some of it out of pocket, but like every Friday for the kids. Their budget was already closed, but they had like a leftover gift card for Safeway, so we got some of the stuff from there. They also pitched in some cookies the other day. We're trying to help the kids out a little bit and make them feel like they're not just there to log onto a computer. And I would love to be able to see them getting some healthy meals every day, at least the option. So we have a sign-up sheet that we put in every day, and we've got about less than 5 students that are accessing that every day. So I'd love to see more students accessing just food.
Madam President.
Yes,
Larry, what are your hours in the morning?
9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Thank you. You have a dedicated lunch in there, so
11 a.m. is when we do lunch, and we do a 25-minute break.
How many kids are there right now?
Well, there are much few. Some of the ones that are finished, they're finished. They're not coming back. So we started out with like 55, and then there's less than 40 now. Or around 40. Some of them have exemption or special exceptions to work remotely. So I would say there's a little bit less than 40.
and last day of summer school, please.
The 30th, Thursday, the 30th of June.
Thank you for sharing.
Ralph, what can we do about that?
Madam President, I think Director Davies has her hand up. I think she has some information.
Okay.
Director Davies, please.
Okay, great. We do have our free and reduced lunch available to students. And we do take a lunch count every morning for summer school. And as far as the students that we know whose families are not able to advocate for them, I have given their names to Stephanie Lip, our Director of Nutrition, and they are being provided a free lunch every day. So, because, there are times even when we have families that they're not able to even fill out the free and reduced form. And so that's part of the need that, we all need to step up as advocates and be the voice for our families who are not able to speak. So I just wanted to make sure that we do have our lunch available for students, and then other students can purchase lunch. Just a little bit more info for you.
The purchase lunch is $4.50 and it's 45 cents for the free and reduced. And so all the families have been notified. They know how to sign up for, well, they've been notified about signing up for the free and reduced. And they've been notified about the option to purchase lunch.
And there's also students that qualify for free lunch. So the 45 cents is waived.
I see. Do you need labor help to call families and encourage them to fill in the forms?
I don't think that that's really the issue. I mean, I think it's more so the kids that are, the 450. I think that it would just be, I watched them all year long get at break time, they would get food, and at lunchtime they would get food, and they were in that habit. The PTA sent us some cookies the other day. I have another parent that's bringing cookies tomorrow. Like, that's what everybody volunteers to do. I reached out to the Breakers Club because Dan Biondi helped me out with the barbecue, and he's part of the Breakers Club. He pitched it to them, but they're really strictly athletics, so they couldn't really help with funding there either. So things are going okay. It's just I would love to have the kids have some nutrition.
Madam President, we, Assistant Superintendent Chinden did mention that we'll see if we can try to find some funding to help this along.
We'll look and check into the options. Unfortunately, just COVID money is just because of the requirements, just like Trustee Brian Swanson said, it's free from July 1, but the gap between for summer weeks is already not qualified under, the requirements of COVID, but we'll look into other areas.
We're talking a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we don't have school on Monday, so it would be 4 days next week and then 4 days the following week, and that's it.
So eight more days, and as kids finish, some of them
And
fall
there's
off.
fewer and fewer. Yeah, there's not very many. I can, if we do have so I can send you some specific numbers.
I think that would be good
Yeah,
because
I
it sounds like
I'll do
Song
that.
is gonna look.
Early in the morning.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Just one more
Please.
question, Dr. Hagwas, while you're up there too. So are you doing a barbecue tomorrow?
No, we didn't have the funding for tomorrow. So we're doing root beer floats tomorrow. And we had some root beer in the freezer or we had some ice cream in the freezer. And I'm like, it's something that one of the teachers thought of. And so we're going to do that tomorrow.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Claire, for sharing and kind of clarifying some of that info.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other public comment at this time? Okay, Song, thank you so much for following up with that. I appreciate it. All right, now we're going to go to B. It's something about approval of Assistant Superintendent 2020. I've been trying to get here. I'm here. 2022, 2023 contract. Dr. Porras.
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate it. We've been very excited about getting this item moving along as we are regrettably saying goodbye to Song in September. So we have a little more time with her yet and leaving some tremendous shoes to fill. But we were so grateful in our process and our search to interview and ultimately recommend for hire Josh Jorn, who's accompanied by his wife here in the back of the room today. For stepping up as the new assistant superintendent for the District of Business Services. And the contract is available for you. They're in front of you, listing out all the details. And as required by Education Code, his contract and my contract need to be brought into public session and approved in an open general session. And so salary and everything there is noted and has been noted for the public. I want to just make a note and make sure the board is fully aware. I've had the opportunity to know Josh now for some 12 years, coming from the Monterey County Office of Education. His interview was fantastic, but knowing the work that he does, it's an honor to have him coming aboard to the district. He's a very humble man. He works extremely hard. It's a high degree of ethics, and you could talk to any of the superintendents that we work with in the county, and they would laud his efforts. And so that makes me even doubly grateful to have him here in Pacific Grove. I think that he's very familiar with the inner workings of the county and the districts in the county. And I think that that's going to help us along as well, knowing some of the inroads, especially like we were talking about COVID. Josh knows all things COVID. So it's having that connection that's going to really help. I think also what's wonderful for us is Josh comes from a family of breakers. So he has a history of being here in the local community. He lives here in the local community. He's vested and has an interest in making sure that this district succeeds and does well by all students because his family is here as well, not just being an educator, but also that. And so I would be hard pressed to find a better candidate for this position. I look forward to pending your approval, working with him closely. And we have set aside time to do cross training in September along with Song. And there you have it. I look very much looking forward to this. So I'll leave it to you.
Thank you for that introduction. It was great. Board comments. Trustee Carolyn.
Just welcome aboard. And I really appreciate that you're here and that your wife Danielle is here as well. So thank you for making it kind of a family affair because we're really excited to have all of you. Thank you.
Yes, welcome. We've been waiting for you.
We're excited. We can't look too excited until Song's gone. Then we'll be really unbridled excitement. But thank you so much. And I just want to mention the word commute because that should be a real deal maker. And we're just delighted you both could come tonight.
I agree. It's very nice to meet you and see you. Thank you very much for being here. So look forward to working with you. As far as the contract itself, we have been through this at least once
Oh, yes.
prior. And I have no comments on the contract.
Thank you. Trustee Brian Swanson.
Welcome. I was wondering who's back there. It's like, so who is that back there? So anyway, welcome to you and your family. I know that we have looked you up and down and sideways. I hope you've done the same for us because it can sometimes be a little weird here, but mostly it's good. So welcome aboard. It's nice to have you.
Okay, any public comments at this time?
All right.
There you go.
Thank you very much, President Dawson, members of the board, Dr. Porras. I think you said it well. We are members of this community, have been our entire life. Second generation, we have a third generation at home right now that my mother-in-law is watching. She will be a breaker soon to be, but probably starting out as a Falcon, although we wish she was going to be going to Robert Down, but that's not in our area. So she was an Otter, I was a Falcon. So yeah, right. But very happy, very anxious, very humbled to be selected for this position. Almost 13 years back in the county working for Monterey County Office of Education. And it's a family over there at Monterey County Office of Ed. Definitely a little bittersweet leaving that organization. Was there with Dr. Katowski for some time and Dr. Gus now. And but I like, I've said this during my interview. I've talked to Ralph about this many times, but it's real important for me to have a family feel. We work a lot of hours, and an extension of my personal family is my work family, and that's what I would like to see moving forward here in this district. So very honored, humbled, and appreciative for you bringing me aboard and ready to get to work. I know it's a few months away, but I'll be working behind the scenes to prepare for the transition. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing. All right. Any other public comments? Okay.
I make a motion to accept the contract presented us for Josh Jorn for our new assistant superintendent.
Second.
Motion was made by trustee Paff, seconded by trustee Carolyn Swanson. Roll call vote, please. Aye.
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 Hi.
Motion carries. You're hired. All right, it's done now. Official. Welcome.
All right, wonderful. We'll have a wonderful evening and thank you for coming and being here. Yeah, you have a green folder to sign.
Can't wait. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to move forward, please, for the approval of the district general fund budget and all of their funds for fiscal year 2022 and 2023.
Thank you, Madam President. Congratulations, Mr. Jordan. Maybe he can co-present the budget now.
We can watch you in action.
Yeah. Just really quickly, we did a presentation at the last board meeting, but tonight there's a slight change because there was a technical error. I just want to point this out because before we submit officially to the county office and to the state, we need to publicly acknowledge, not exactly in this instance about the number, but also, but it's about the, reason why. And this is on page 165. If you can go to page 165, the numbers for 22-23s do not change. They're good. It just the estimated fund balance for 21-22, which estimated ending balance from 21-22, which becomes the estimated beginning balance for 22-23, which is at the top, the third column from the right on page 165. You see the 5.548,287.
Yes.
That number has been changed to 5.5,013,321. Now, this number is just an estimate. We haven't closed the books yet. We're talking about 21-22. How it works in a budget is that we have the estimated balance from this year, and then we project it into next year when we adopt the budget. But we haven't closed the books. We'll close the books in September. At that time, we'll know truly the fund balance. So, but even the estimate, we had to go through some technical reviews and we found some glitches. So we had to fix that before we can transmit the data. So because of that, so I just want to clarify this. It does not change numbers again for 22-23. It would change the estimated fund balance for 22-23, but does not change the income, does not change the expenditures. So with that, nothing has changed.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board, please? Trustee Carolyn?
No.
No questions.
Trustee Paff?
No, thank you. Thank you so.
That was very thoughtful. No. Trustee Swanson?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay, and I have none. As always, thank you for such a thorough, complete job and keeping us informed and a good demonstration for your future here. So thank you so much. Any public comments at this time? Okay, no public comments. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion was made by Dr. Frank Rivera and seconded by Trustee John Paff. Roll call vote. Aye.
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 It carries 5-0. So next we move on to approval of the local control accountability plan and state, sorry.
So this is the budget for next year.
That's correct.
This is your last budget.
Yes, that's correct.
Didn't you see the tear go down her cheek as she
And
kissed
we'll
this one
end,
goodbye?
we'll end 21-22 even better when you see it in September. I believe the number will be better than this.
I certainly hope so, because the long-term prognosis is
Winter is coming?
Are you
Is that what
saying
you're
yeah?
saying?
coming.
That's correct.
I hope winter isn't coming.
We need to
quickly,
go to nest egg.
sure, so,
All right, shall we get, yes.
We need to get
congratulations.
T-shirts that say that winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
PGUSD.
Close that
winter
checkbook.
is coming.
Okay, we need it, I think, during negotiations next year. Okay, hey, let's move forward to approval of the local control accountability plan and state local priorities 2022, 2023.
I think we have Director Silva and is available if you would like her to speak to this, but at this stage of the game, from my vantage point, we've received no input, comments or corrections in regards to the LCAP since it was presented. So at this point, I don't believe there are any changes either, but if Director Silva is on the available, she can speak to that if necessary.
Director Silva, are you there?
So Ralph, is my recollection correct that the format of the LCAP in future will be changing? Is that what we heard?
We heard there will be some changes, but I don't know what they are
We
specifically.
don't know what they're gonna look like.
Yeah. Remember when it first started, it was supposed to be 4 pages. Yeah, 4 pages.
Yeah.
We've come a long way.
The footnotes aren't even 4 pages right now, so yeah,
That's a lot.
it's a lot of it. Okay, but we don't know. Thank you.
I had one thing, but if she's not here, just send a note later.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sounds good. I'll save that out.
Is it material to our approval?
Well, no, it just said that the total parent responses were 459, a decrease of 459. I just don't know that it would, I just think it's a little boo-boo to look at. Thank you for your disdain, trustee Paff.
No,
Okay,
it's not-
let's,
it's not disdain. No, I understand why you would say it's not material in the grand
it's
scheme.
material to me.
It's material.
In
the-
your
the little
scheme, it's
scheme.
not in mine. Oh, it was so material. I thought I had to say something. Okay. Hey, we're gonna move forward now.
Okay, so we need. an
Okay,
approval on
can
the
we have an
public comments.
approval? I was going
There
there.
was no public comment, is that right? Did we?
We haven't, I've asked now, but I was so distracted. Public comment? No, there's nothing there. So do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to accept the LCAP as presented.
Second.
The motion was made by trustee Paff, seconded by trustee Frank Rivera. Roll call vote? Yes.
Aye.
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 Okay, the motion carries 5-0.
Thank you very much.
We are moving along quickly. I know people hate to go home early and nobody better tell me the Warriors score, Frank. Okay, because I'm going in blind. I think we want to do approval of color scheme at Robert Down.
I think this
I'm
is-
looking around. Somebody talk to me.
This is Director Dominguez is leading this charge, but
Yes.
I'll allow our Assistant Superintendent to guide this conversation if she'd like.
Sure, Mr. Dominguez should be on. This is based on the last conversation. The board would like to talk about accent of the doors. And so this is brought forward based on that request. And I believe you have also extra page that shows the color scheme. Mr. Dominguez, would you like to add anything?
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to present here. The Warriors, I'm not sure of the score either.
Don't you dare. My heart stopped.
I saw the flinch. The color scheme, as you can see there, as far as the original colors, even the accent colors are to remain the same. What we did was we went and got a color blotch based on the conversation we had from the last meeting of the doors. And so we went and got a color blotch to match the accent colors. I met with Cliff and he helped me to pick out these colors because he's so knowledgeable in painting. And so we also ran this by the principal. And that's the color, if you see that color blotch, that the doors will become. At no additional cost.
Music to our ears. Comments, please? Trustee Carolyn.
I approve of this color. That's it.
Trustee Frank. Red, I was concerned, there are so many colors of red. I recently painted a front door this color. I love it. Trustee Paff.
No comments.
Oh,
No comment? Okay.
no comment about a color.
It's
Yes,
called
yay,
how-
nay. It's
All right. So you left it for me, and I just want to say I am pro sweet lychee.
lychee. Just the name alone.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's-
I'm
that's-
bullish on it even.
Okay, bullish. I think we have a comment. Did you see the color?
Okay, shame on me for being up here. I was wondering if the color scheme at the high school will be discussed at any time.
Yes.
Let us pray. Thank you. Don't rain on our parade today. We've got this one today, but headed your direction. Any public comment about sweet lychee? Is that the name? Lychee?
Yeah, I
Lychee, isn't
think
it a
that's the name.
lychee nut?
I don't know, lychee, lychee.
They do say
potato,
lychee on the islands
potato.
as well. so
They do? I
Yeah,
thought it
I think I
was-
did both. I'm not an expert. but-
You say almond, I say tomato.
Either
Okay.
way works. We've been creative, flexible.
We love it.
Lychee.
Public comment. Oh, we have one. Jacqueline, please share.
Hi, as a teacher at Robert Down.
Yes.
And as a person who owns a door. At the, can we make sure that we do like the full on shaving down, primer prep? We have metal doors that are exterior doors and they rust quickly. So the last time they just painted over without sanding it down and it just rusted and bubbled, which is where you got the paint samples that we currently have was off my door. So just hoping that they do the full, sanding, prepping, everything so that this will last. Thank you.
Good point. Thank you so much. Any other public comments? Okay, seeing none. Do we have a motion?
Second. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Just-
Go ahead.
She was
I
working
heard
on
it,
that.
but your mic wasn't on, so it wasn't
Okay.
technically said. So
Motion
please.
was made by trustee Frank Rivera, seconded by trustee Carolyn Swanson. Roll call vote. Aye.
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 Motion carries. We will have these beautiful doors, but I'm sure Forest Grove will be perfect for your. Perfect. Okay, board calendar, future meetings.
So really quickly,
Oh, going back.
do you know, is John still on? Is the plan to really clear that up? It is frustrating to see something that feels like it's not been primed correctly, et cetera. So our painter is going to take care of that.
Absolutely. Guaranteed they will take care of it. I have, like I mentioned, I have the district's painter, which is Cliff, who has extensive knowledge, helping to monitor the painting projects and all painting projects in the district to meet the specifications that the districts have.
John, are some of these things simply things that just need to be replaced? I mean, when we talk about doors and, how closely have we looked at some of this over the years? I'll give you an example. My parents have a metal door between the garage and there. It's inside, it's going to be outlive us all. But the exterior door, which for whatever reason, eventually just went away and there was never going to be replaced and repaired. The same door. How often are we looking at that?
Well, I don't know what's happened in the past. I can only speak to future, and we can certainly take a look at the doors to the facilities. We do know that the security locks have all been upgraded. But in terms of the condition of the doors, I think that a hefty coat of paint and proper preparation will certainly make it a more.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And John, if it makes you feel any better, I have personal experience with Cliff and his painting skills, and he is phenomenal. He really does know what he's doing. So
No
with-
question. That's
with,
why.
with Cliff and John on it, I do have high hopes for it to last, be
Yeah.
quality.
Okay. Again, it's really about eventually everything wears to the point where, we actually just approved a new playground for the same reason. Painted, but eventually it's not. So,
Sure, but for this project, like personally, I have a lot of faith in it.
okay, thank you.
You're
Appreciate that.
welcome.
That's a good attitude. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we're going to move forward, please, to board calendar and future meetings.
Thank you, Madam President. Actually, we do have one change on the board calendar for next year. We had listed initially a review of the legal fees for this meeting, but it's gotten moved to August 18 meeting. So that's noted on the calendar already. So the board will need to entertain action on this item.
Okay, and just for your knowledge, we spoke briefly about policy and looking at that in the month of August. And the board would be interested in a possibly Tuesday evening meeting versus a Saturday.
Okay.
So can that get noted somewhere?
We'll take a, we'll just put it on the notes that we'll take a look on a Tuesday in August
Perfect.
and see what.
Thank
days we
you.
can
I
form.
just don't, I don't want to forget that. All right, that sounds good. Anything else? Anyone on the team? Okay. And do we look at future agenda items now?
We need a vote on.
Oh, can we vote on that calendar?
I'll make a motion to approve the board calendar, future meetings with the movement of that legal fee assessment to August 18.
I second that. So the motion was made by trustee Brian Swanson, seconded with enthusiasm by trustee Dawson. Roll call vote. Aye.
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 It's unanimous as we move forward here. Okay. So next, future agenda items?
Hmm?
Yes, what?
Yep.
Why am
No,
I,
I'm
am I
waiting,
doing
I'm
it
waiting.
wrong?
No, you're doing fine. I'm just
Oh,
waiting
that
for you to get to
critical-
me for future agenda.
I'll begin to you at some point. Okay. I know we discussed this evening robotics.
I'd
So-
like to see that for sure.
So
yeah.
we'd like to see that on there for, make sure we've got that on at the start of the year so people can move forward with confidence. Do you want to say something?
Yes, please.
You look very eager. Please go forward.
So the last item on here was presentation regarding low-income housing. And Anastasia Wyatt has agreed to come in. And I think that's a matter of just asking between you and Ms. Dawson when you want to schedule it, so I can have her contact Alyssa directly.
Sure.
Solve that. Is that okay?
Mhm.
Okay.
That'll work.
The other is bringing back the item that I brought up last meeting, which was a skateboard park and potential things, which you said you had questions at the time. And we got another comment tonight about it. And I'd like to bring that back up to suggest that we consider, there is $168,000 that is, the city has agreed to in terms of funding. So there is some future funding and there are a couple spots we may be able to look at. And I think we got to put that on the agenda to look at a couple spots. And of course, John and Ralph and whomever may have their suggestions as to where such a thing might go as well. So.
And Madam President, I did have a chance to email back and forth with Emily Hasselbauer, who is working with the city on this project.
Okay,
So we'll be touching base later on this month.
that sounds good. And in my defense, I had not seen the email, so I was I didn't know where it came from. But obviously, some people are getting emails and it's something we need to look at. So thank you for bringing that back up. Okay, so we'll add that, please, to the future agenda. I want to go back here. I know we've got some, it's getting longer again. A board member requested creating policy regarding virtual meetings. I think this was in October. And I just wanted to look at that because I think, obviously COVID is still here, but I think a lot of meetings have been successfully available on virtual. And what are we looking at with this? Is this something we still need to explore?
This was my item, and I think I could see us addressing this when we review policy as a whole, because this is a policy I wanted to update so that in the future, we can offer IEP meetings virtually for working families and things, parent conferences virtually for working families. So I'd like for that to be in policy. So I think we can do that when perhaps.
Well, if we're going to add the policy, we're going to review the policies that we've worked on. So I would suggest that we do that after you've had a chance to review the entire board book revision.
Okay.
And then we can add it in after that. I think it'll get a little messy if you tried to.
You don't think there's an existing policy to just kind of add it into?
There's not an existing policy in regards to this specific topic. Our sites are all doing it. It's just not in policy.
Yeah, okay. For some reason, I thought I might look it up, not to
Yeah, I mean, we have,
disagree with you, but I think there might be something where we can plug it in.
okay.
So,
Okay, but we don't need to have it here on this meeting. It will be as part of the policy
sure. Yeah,
examination.
I'll keep it on my
Okay.
to-do list.
Okay, we'll pull that one off.
I'm giving a signal on this one right here, Ralph.
Got it. Got it.
Okay,
Is
so
it
we'll
the
get
hook?
rid of that. The next one, which was way back in November, board advocacy. I didn't know, I think that was also yours, trustee Carolyn. I did the have you done the legislative action day? Did you go to Sacramento ever?
I have been to Sacramento for advocating for public schools.
Oh, okay. So did you have something different than that where we go up and talk to in Sacramento about the needs of our districts and public education?
So this item came about after our board did our last self-evaluation, and it was determined from our own self-evaluation that we all kind of as a majority felt that we lacked in this area of advocacy, either at the local, county, state, or federal level. So we were wanting to address that. And actually now it's kind of time for us to do another self-evaluation because we are meant to do them every year. So I could see this being taken off. And then what we do need to add is a special meeting for our own self-evaluation and then see if it pops up again as an area of need.
Okay, okay. And that's one of those things like I serve at Monterey County Office of Ed on behalf of us. So that exists on the county level, but I think it's good to kind of point out where people are and where we might want to see some changes. Okay, so that works well. The other thing, speaking of representation, I know you had mentioned to me, trustee Carolyn, about community human services, and you might be interested in serving there as an alternative. And I had said, I thought that was a great idea, but I also thought about it afterwards that I should open up to the board and see if anybody else has an interest in doing that. Meetings are monthly. I spent a couple hours earlier today with that. It's currently virtual, but not always 11 to 1. I think it's the third Thursday of each month. So if anybody has an interest in that, reach out to me and then we'll kind of figure that out as far as an alternative. All right. So skate park added robotics, and does that take care of us?
I have an item if you're finished. One thing I was thinking about, and it's in relation to recent events. However, it's also related to a thought I was having previously. And I know that currently, at least at the elementary level, we have Monterey County Rape Crisis Center come in and do what I call like boundaries workshops that are grade appropriate for our kids. And my child participates, and I support these and I want these to continue. However, what I think is that we only do them at certain grade levels. And so this would, I believe, require more funding, but I would like to see those boundaries presentations happen at every grade level, at least elementary wise, and perhaps beyond. Because one thing I think our district can do better on is educating our students on how to actively advocate for themselves.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where it falls, if it's curriculum or if it's just a contract that we need to increase.
We'll pass it along to Director Rogoman.
I was gonna say,
Someone,
do we say, hey, Buck, is this possible or not?
Yeah, we can look into that for sure. I think there was originally some of that's dictated by the center themselves, where they prefer to do the leapfrog years so that it's not overly repetitive. Because sometimes the message gets drowned out when it's basically the same message every year. They in the past have liked to leapfrog years. So that was from their end, not from our end. However, we can talk with them and ask them if that's changed and it's something that they would consider doing.
Sure, because a lot of kids learn from repetition. So that's kind of the angle that I feel about it.
If that's what the board would like.
And I know Lita brought up last time about the possibility that the high school is looking at a health class and those kinds of, there's more time, those discussions also. But it's grade specific, if that was maybe a 9th or 10th grade offering.
Yeah, and I don't know if this wants to come back as just a contract item because it's going to change the contract, or if it needs to go through other hoops. So
however the board would like to do this, we have it in our notes now, so we can research it and take a look at how we can affect it.
I think that would be great if you could just kind of get back to us about what's existing, and then that will give us some guidance about how to move forward.
Okay. So we won't put that on the future agenda, but we'll look into it quickly.
Yes, perfect. so it doesn't get too long.
Thank you.
All right, I'm feeling like this might be a public comment. Anybody adding anything, or it might be time to kind of go home. And before we go, we just want to wish everybody well for this upcoming weekend. If you have any special plans, anyone, our thoughts are with you. There's also a memorial that I heard is happening down at Lovers Point at 10 a.m. on Saturday for Uvalde. And they're going to honor that, and perhaps Buffalo, I'm not quite sure, but obviously about gun violence. So I want to put that out there and let people know about that. Okay, nobody's going to talk about scores, but we'll miss you over the next couple months, but we'll be thinking about you a lot. Ready? We're adjourned.